The Great Pyramid of Giza has stood for more than 4,500 years, a monument to the impossible. To this day, it remains one of the most astonishing feats of engineering ever attempted by humans. We know when it was built. We know who built it. We even know what tools they had. But here's the problem. None of it adds up. This is not a video about aliens. This is about how even today, the best explanations we have still leave us with more questions than answers. Chapter 1. A story written in stone. The year is 2560 BCE. Pharaoh Khufu, ruler of Egypt's 4th dynasty, needs a tomb. Not just a place to rest, but a monument that will echo through eternity. But this will be no ordinary tomb. This tomb will be built on a scale the world has never seen, nearly 500 feet tall and clad in smooth white limestone casing stones that gleamed in the sun like polished marble. The Great Pyramid would dominate the horizon. Its base spans over 13 acres, larger than 8 football fields. The precision is equally impressive. Millions of stones placed so tightly that not even a sheet of paper fits between them. Each corner aligned almost perfectly to true north. An architectural project so ambitious, so perfect, that even today we struggle to explain how it was done with the tools available at the time. For the next 2 decades, a workforce of tens of thousands labors under the scorching sun. Using no iron, no wheels, and no cranes, they haul over 2 million blocks of limestone and granite, some weighing up to 80 tons. The result? A gleaming white pyramid nearly 500 feet tall. The tallest structure on Earth for nearly 4,000 years. But there's a problem.
Ugh, this is impossible. The copper barely scratches it.
We've been at this for hours. My arms are aching.
The inner structure is made of granite, harder than anything copper tools can carve effectively. And the joints between stones? So precise you can't fit a sheet of paper between them. So either thousands of men worked with impossible precision using crude tools, or something doesn't make sense. Chapter 2. The ramp problem. Let's talk logistics. To haul stones this large to the upper layers of the pyramid, you need a ramp. A straight ramp long enough to reach the top would have been over a mile long and required more material than the pyramid itself. A spiral ramp wrapped around the outside would obstruct visibility, making precision nearly impossible. And yet, archaeologists have found nothing. No ramp, no remnants, no infrastructure to support it. Some modern experiments suggest internal ramps, others say counterweights. Some even propose massive water lifts. But none of these theories fully explain how such a monumental task was completed with such staggering accuracy. It would be like asking you to build the Empire State Building with a shovel, a wheelbarrow, and a couple hundred friends. Chapter 3. Cosmic Alignments. Now, let's talk about the sky. The Great Pyramid is aligned almost perfectly to true north, not magnetic north, true north, with an error of just 3/60ths of a degree. And then there's Orion. The 3 pyramids of Giza mirror the 3 stars of Orion's belt, not just in spatial layout, but in a way that may correspond to the stars' relative magnitudes, with the smallest pyramid matching the faintest star and the largest corresponding to the brightest. It's a symbolic mapping, not an optical effect, reflecting a possible intention to replicate the night sky on the ground. This could be a coincidence, but it could be something more. In ancient Egyptian mythology, Orion represented Osiris, god of the afterlife. The Nile, some ancient texts and modern interpretations suggest it may have symbolized the Milky Way, Egypt's most sacred river. mirroring the galaxy above, reinforcing the connection between heaven and earth. But here's the catch. The alignment with Orion's belt is only perfect if you rewind the sky back nearly 12,000 years. That's the theory proposed by alternative historians like Graham Hancock. They believe the pyramids may have been built, or at least planned, by an older civilization, far earlier than we've been told. Could it be symbolic? Sure. Could it also point to a deeper, lost understanding of astronomy? Also possible. Chapter 4. The Machine in the Stone. Let's step inside the pyramid, because its exterior isn't the only thing that doesn't add up. The Great Pyramid has no elaborate hieroglyphs, no burial inscriptions, no sarcophagus lid, and no confirmed burial remains of Pharaoh Khufu or anyone else. Instead, what we find are geometric voids, precision-cut granite chambers, and 4 narrow shafts, 2 leading outward from each of the upper chambers, for no obvious reason. There's also an enormous gallery leading to the so-called King's Chamber, a narrow, steep corridor lined with massive interlocking stones, designed to redistribute weight from above. It's an architectural feature that suggests advanced structural planning. And then there's the material, granite. Not just any stone. Granite quarried from Aswan, hundreds of miles away. It's not easy to shape, move, or build with. So why use it? Here's where one of the most controversial theories begins to form. Engineer Christopher Dunn theorized that the pyramid may have been designed to harness energy from the Earth itself, not electricity in the modern sense, but something more subtle, mechanical resonance. Here's the logic. Granite contains quartz, and quartz has piezoelectric properties. Under pressure or vibration, it can generate a small electrical charge. If water from the nearby Nile flowed through chambers beneath the pyramid, and evidence suggests that channels once ran near the base, it could have created low-frequency vibrations through the structure. These vibrations, moving through millions of tons of carefully arranged limestone and granite, might have triggered a piezoelectric response in the quartz-rich stones. In other words, the pyramid could have acted as a passive energy system, amplifying natural resonance. There's no hard evidence that this energy was collected or used in any technological sense. There are no wires, no copper coils, and no control systems like we'd expect in a modern power plant. But some argue that we're looking for the wrong kind of technology, expecting light bulbs when we should be thinking about frequencies, harmonics, and the Earth itself as a power source. Critics of the theory point out the lack of direct archaeological evidence. They argue that the idea relies on circumstantial alignment and speculative physics. But supporters argue that even if the pyramid wasn't a power generator, the use of sound, vibration, and specific material choices suggest that the builders understood something deeper about how the Earth behaves. Knowledge we're only beginning to explore through modern geophysics and acoustics. So, was it a tomb, a monument, or something more complex, a structure designed to interact with the Earth itself? We don't have the answer, but the deeper you look, the more it feels like the Great Pyramid wasn't just built to be seen, it was built to do something. Chapter 5. The Sphinx and the Sands of Time. Just across from the pyramids stands the Great Sphinx, silent, weathered, and almost as mysterious as the pyramid itself. At over 240 feet long and 66 feet tall, the Sphinx is the largest monolithic statue in the world. Carved directly from the limestone bedrock, it has the body of a lion and the head of what is believed to be Pharaoh Khafre, but many aspects of the Sphinx don't quite fit the official timeline. The conventional view holds that it was built around 2500 BCE during Khafre's reign, as a guardian for his pyramid complex. Yet no inscriptions link the Sphinx to Khafre. In fact, there are no inscriptions on the Sphinx at all. And then there's the weathering. The body of the Sphinx shows deep vertical fissures and rounded edges, erosion patterns caused not by sand and wind, but by heavy, sustained rainfall. This is where the mystery deepens. Egypt hasn't seen consistent heavy rainfall for thousands of years. Geologists like Robert Schoch argue that the type of weathering found on the Sphinx could only have occurred more than 7,000 years ago, possibly as far back as 10,000 BCE, when the Giza Plateau experienced a much wetter climate. If that's true, it suggests the Sphinx predates the pyramids by thousands of years, built during a time when Egypt was a savanna, not a desert. Mainstream Egyptologists dispute this, attributing the erosion to pooling water or other local phenomena, but Schoch and others argue that the depth and shape of the grooves are consistent only with prolonged rainfall over centuries, not isolated flooding. And the anomalies don't stop at erosion. The head of the Sphinx is disproportionately small compared to its massive body. Many scholars, including some within the mainstream, believe the head was recarved at a later time. If that's true, the original statue may not have had a human face at all. It may have been a lion or something else entirely. This opens the door to an even larger question. If the Sphinx is older than Khafre, then who built it? No one knows for sure. There are no records, no blueprints, no tools left behind. Some believe it was constructed by an earlier civilization whose presence predates the dynastic Egyptians. If that's the case, then the Sphinx isn't just a mystery, it's a monument to a lost period of history, a chapter erased by time, or buried in the sand. Chapter 6. Echoes of a Lost World. These mysteries aren't limited to Egypt. Across the globe, ancient monuments share strange similarities. Monumental architecture, astronomical alignment, massive stones moved with unexplained skill. Göbekli Tepe, Teotihuacan, Mohenjo-Daro, Nan Madol. Different cultures, same patterns. Alternative theorists suggest these sites may be remnants of a shared origin, a lost civilization, wiped out at the end of the last ice age. Maybe the Great Pyramid wasn't the beginning, maybe it was the echo of something far older. A final message in stone.
Chapter 7. The deeper you dig. The deeper we dig, both literally and metaphorically, the stranger the story grows. We've examined engineering marvels, alignment mysteries, and speculative functions, but beneath the surface, even more tantalizing questions remain unanswered. Egypt remains deeply secretive. Independent access is limited, and excavation permits are tightly controlled. When new findings emerge, the silence that follows is deafening. As recently as 2025, satellite and radar data have been interpreted by researchers to suggest the presence of 6 massive coil-like structures, some more than a mile underground, beneath Khafre's pyramid. But there's no peer-reviewed research to support it. And these coils, if they exist, only add fuel to the pyramid as generator theory, not prove it. Then there's the issue of hidden chambers. The Scan Pyramids project discovered the so-called Big Void in 2017, a plane-sized space above the Grand Gallery, confirmed by 3 independent muon imaging teams. It's real, but we still have no idea what's inside or why it's there. We've also seen the footage from robotic probes exploring the so-called star shafts. The robot saw secret doors with copper handles at the end of the shaft.
These doors, discovered in the north and south shafts of the Queen's Chamber, are limestone blocks with 2 copper handles each. A robot was used to explore behind the first door in the southern shaft, revealing a second door only 20 centimeters further in. After the second door was revealed, Egyptian authorities halted all research missions in the chamber, and the doors remain unopened. Why did the Egyptian government do this? Officially, it's for preservation. Skeptics say it's because what lies beyond could challenge the accepted narrative and discredit the Egyptians with ever building it. When Egypt refuses to open a sealed door, people online fill the void with wild theories. Underground energy grids, hidden libraries of knowledge, ancient generators, even UFO chambers. Are they credible? Some are clearly baseless, but without transparent, verifiable data, they can't be disproven either. And that's precisely the point. We've discovered a void, we've found sealed shafts, we've uncovered possible underground coils, and countless mysteries remain locked beneath layers of stone and official silence. None of these clues yet form a coherent theory. Yet taken together, they hint at possibilities we've barely begun to consider. The Great Pyramid may never yield all its secrets. Maybe its architecture wasn't meant to be understood, only experienced. Maybe knowledge was lost with builders, with centuries, with record, or deliberately obscured. So here's the question for you. How long would it take for our own civilization, now mapping, scanning, recording every detail, to become a lost relic of history? Thank you for watching the video. If you enjoyed it, please leave a like and subscribe if you want to see more informative videos like this one.